All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most important parts of the UK building regulations. We're talking about Approved Document B. Yep, the official rulebook for fire safety. Whether you're designing, building, or just want to understand how it all works, this is the one you absolutely need to get your head around.
And that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? If you're doing any kind of construction work, and I mean anything from a brand new apartment block to a simple home extension, complying with these fire safety laws isn't optional. It's not a nice to have. It is absolutely mandatory.
So, what exactly is this document? Well, think of it as the government's official how-to guide. It takes the legal jargon of the building regulations and turns it into practical, actionable steps for keeping people safe in their homes. It covers the whole shebang: fire alarms, escape routes, and even how the building structure has to hold up in a fire.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. In this explainer, we're going to walk through the three main pillars of fire safety that this document lays out. First, giving people an early warning. Second, making sure they have a safe way to get out. And third, a really clever part, how to design the building to actually contain a fire where it starts.
First up, Section 1, Alarms and Early Warning. You know, this is the absolute bedrock of fire safety. It's all about giving people the earliest possible heads up that something is wrong. Because without that timely alarm, everything else we do can be too little, too late.
The rules here are crystal clear. Every new home must have a suitable fire detection and alarm system. And this isn't just for new builds, you know? It also applies to extensions and big renovation projects. The guidance gets really specific, pointing to industry standards like BS 5389-6, just to make sure everything is designed and installed perfectly, whether it's a single house or a huge block of student flats.
Okay, so the alarm is blaring, now what? The clock is ticking. This brings us to the next critical piece of the puzzle, ensuring every single person in that building can get out quickly and safely. This is where the design of your escape routes is just paramount.
And a key concept you have to understand here is the protected stairway. Now, this isn't just any old staircase. This is a specially built stair that's completely enclosed in fire-resisting walls and doors. Its entire purpose is to act like a safe bubble, a sealed corridor that's shielded from smoke and flames, leading you straight outside to safety.
And check out the level of detail we're talking about. Different parts of that escape route have to resist fire for a specific amount of time. You'll see these codes, like REI 30. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It just means the structure has to keep its strength, that's R, stop flames from getting through, that's E, and block the heat, that's I, all for a minimum of 30 minutes. That 30 minutes is the crucial window people need to get out.
And you'll see numbers like this, 7.5 meters. This one is absolutely critical. In some apartment layouts, 7.5 meters is the absolute maximum distance you're allowed to travel down a corridor in one direction to find an exit. Any further and you're in what's called a dead end, a potential trap. This number isn't just plucked out of thin air. It's based on research into how far someone can realistically get in a smoky, confusing environment before they reach safety.
Now, it makes perfect sense that as buildings get taller, the rules get tougher. Once a home's top floor is more than 4.5 meters high, you need one of those protected stairways we just talked about. Push that height above 7.5 meters, and now you need a second way out, an alternative escape route. And of course, every single door that opens onto these protected routes has to be a properly certified fire door set, no exceptions.
So, we've warned people with alarms and we've given them a safe path out. The third part of the strategy is what we call passive fire protection. It's all about designing the building to actually fight back, to slow the fire down, and keep it boxed in for as long as possible.
And the main strategy for this is something called compartmentation. The best way to picture this is to think of the building as being made up of a series of fireproof boxes. Each apartment is its own box. The protected stairway is another box. The whole idea is to trap a fire inside the box where it started, stopping it from spreading to the rest of the building.
Building these fireproof boxes is a real team effort. It's not just about the big, obvious things like fire-resisting walls and floors. It's also about protecting shafts for lifts and services, installing special cavity barriers that are hidden inside walls, and, so importantly, meticulously fire-stopping around every single pipe or cable that punches through a wall. Because a fire door is pretty useless if there are holes all around it, right?
And this is a really crucial point. Even the smallest gaps can be a fatal flaw in your fire strategy. Every single hole made for plumbing or wiring has to be kept as tiny as possible and then sealed perfectly with a tested, approved fire-stopping system. That's how you maintain the integrity of that fireproof box.
Finally, let's talk about the golden rule that ties all of this together. You can have the most brilliant fire safety design in the world,
but it means absolutely nothing if it isn't built correctly and with the right stuff. And hey, don't just take my word for it, it's written right into the law. Regulation 7 of the Building Regulations states it plainly. All building work has to use adequate and proper materials and be done in a workmanlike manner. That one simple sentence is the legal foundation for quality and safety in all UK construction.
It's also really important to get what this document legally means. If you follow the guidance in Approved Document B perfectly, it gives you what's called a presumption of compliance. Basically, it's the standard way to prove you've met the law. But, and this is a big but, it is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. The ultimate legal responsibility always lands on the person or company doing the work. Now, a quick but important note on historic buildings. As you can imagine, trying to apply these modern rules to a building that's hundreds of years old can get really complicated. So for these special cases, the goal is to comply as far as is reasonably possible without destroying the building's historic character. It's a real balancing act, and it almost always involves working closely with a local conservation officer to find smart, safe solutions.
For more deep dives into the approved documents and complex regulatory topics, make sure to visit and subscribe to the Building Regulations Copilot YouTube channel. And for all your specific building regulations-related queries, visit buildingregulationscopilot.com. So, we'll leave you with this thought. Fire safety is a complete system. Every single piece, from the smoke alarm right down to the last smear of fire-stopping sealant, has to work perfectly together. After seeing just how complex it is, ask yourself, is the fire safety strategy for your next project really robust enough?